Hello and welcome to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host Aurora and I'm very happy to be spending some time with you today. I'm currently still in Germany visiting my family, and I thought I was going to make some time today and send out a podcast episode for you. What people will remember about you. I feel it's an important thing to think about, because oftentimes we think we have to do a bunch of things, we have to bend, we have to overly adapt, change our nature, do things that we don't really want to do in order to fit in order to touch people's hearts, in order to be part of society, in order to belong. And I'm here today to tell you that it is way easier than you think to be memorable, to have an impact on people's lives. Another thing I want to talk about today is the way we treat each other right now during those messy COVID times, and how that is very closely tied into how people will remember you. I feel that a lot of people are very strongly opinionated right now, and for a good reason. We all feel that there is a big change coming up. We all feel uncertain. We all feel fear, uncertainty together. And it's a lot. It's too much for most of us. Some of us lost our jobs. Some of us are in deep distress. And that is when reality circumstances bring out the worst in people. And the way we treat each other during those times is going to have an impact on our future relationships, because we're not quite as good as elephants in memorizing and remembering how people made us feel, but some of us are really, really good at that. It's kind of a protective mechanism too, right? Like when someone treats you bad, you remember, because next time around you want to avoid that topic, that situation, maybe the person altogether. So first of all, I want to raise awareness on how you approach this situation right now and how radical you are with your views, because imagine from one day to another this situation being lifted and all the stress gone. What is left over? Left over is how we treated each other and how we made each other feel, the things we said, the things we've done. And we have to be aware of that. We can't just be emotionally driven or ego driven and wanting to get our point across to every person we meet. And for people who are not on the same page as us, treating them poorly, ignoring them, shutting them out, judging them, maybe even hurting them verbally. And I really, really couldn't care less on which side you are right now. It doesn't matter, because we all have our own little realities. We all have our own assumptions. We all have our own routines. We all have our own perspectives. And what's really important for me is that we learn to see that every person has their own thing going on, and we cannot force another person to think the same way we do. I live in Canada with my boyfriend, grandma, and mom. The only people who are really on the same page in my life is my boyfriend and then a couple of friends here in Germany. And here in Germany, I'm the only person who has one opinion. And it was really interesting for me to see that it's possible to not talk about the hot topics and to still get along and to know that, yeah, the other person is on a very different page, but we focus on something else. We focus on quality time and other topics. And that's super, super awesome that this is possible. And now back to the title, the original topic of this episode. What are the things that people are going to remember at you? And I can just emphasize this. I can't emphasize this enough. That people are going to judge you. People are going to remember you on how you made them feel. Did you make a person feel inferior? Did you make a person feel awesome and empowered? Did you question their behavior? Did you put them on a spot? Did you listen? Or were you the one constantly talking and trying to educate? People will remember that. People will remember how you made them feel. And nothing else. Because people are too busy with their own lives. They're too busy with their thoughts. And yes, there's an odd exception. There's people who can deeply connect with you and be 1,000% present with you. But even those people have their own lives and they think of you and then remember, how did that person make me feel? And it's not necessarily a conscious thought, a conscious, like an awareness, but on an emotional level, or emotional body, so to say, will remember how people made us feel. And in the future, if you, for instance, take a person who didn't make you feel good and you still choose to meet up with that person for other stronger reasons, your body might react and you might be sweating, you might be nervous, you might have a slight headache right after, you might have a stomach ache, or you might have backache or a stiff neck when you choose to not listen how a person made you feel and still meeting up with them. It is very interesting how oftentimes we choose to go against our soul, against our nature, in order to fit in order to belong. And it is very nice, very eye-opening, mind-opening, when you are aware of how people made you feel in the past and how you interact with them today. And so it goes with people you interact with. I want to apologize for all the background noise here. I'm in Germany, as I said, and there's just lots of people around here, and I just tried to find a most quiet spot for you, but it's still way louder than when I'm back home in Canada. So how you make a person feel. When you meet up with a person, do you think about all the stuff you want to get out and share with them? And you want to get advice, you want to see a reaction, you want to, know what they think about your stuff? Or are you truly interested in them and in what they are accomplishing and how they feel on a daily level and what their dreams are, and then even going back to their childhood or family stories, You can hear it in my voice already that when you show genuine interest in a person, they will not forget. They will feel touched. You will be able to touch their heart. And people don't forget about that. So, for the next couple days until I publish my next episode, I want you to be aware of how you interact with people and how you make people feel. Because a lot of times when we are navigating difficult times, when we feel lonely, when we feel life is tough and people are being annoying and people are just assholes, right? When we start being aware of how we interact with people and start noticing, oh shit, like I'm actually being short-fused, very impatient, hostile. And this is why my partner is rejecting me. Or this is why my children throw one tantrum after another and are just very, difficult to be around. If we start looking at ourselves and how we interact and what energy we put out there towards people, we start seeing things and then we can change these things. And in the future, I want to talk about how we can change things that we see about ourselves, but don't like, want to change, and then how we can go about this. It is such a beautiful journey to be on when you become self-aware of what you put out into this world. And I'm very excited to be on this journey with you. As I promised, I will be offering coaching calls here soon where we can talk about your stuff. And no matter where you're at in life, sometimes we feel stuck. And sometimes it is nice to pour your heart out to a stranger and then reorganize yourself and maybe even let go of beliefs, patterns, habits, and steer the wheel of your life into a different direction. I'm going to call my business Monkey Mind Coaching because I love that expression of the monkey mind. I'm very at war with my monkey mind at times, and I learned to accept it and make sense of it and befriend it. And it's a very fun journey sometimes even to be on. And sometimes it's also very tough, and then it's wonderful to have kind of a wing woman next to you, where, as I said, you can pour your heart out, you can talk about your process and your wins and your failures, things you want to do better in the future. And from there, we can steer your wheel into the direction that will help you reach your goals and get closer to your dreams. Thank you endlessly for listening today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my podcast here. And if you want to leave me a little compliment or critique, then leave a review on Apple Podcast. It's endlessly precious for me. Take really good care of yourself. Until next time, bye-bye.